Have you ever eaten so much at an all-you-can-eat that you practically put the company out of business? You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Today we are going to talk about Red Lobster. Not just Red Lobster, of course, but that's going to start us off, and we're going to talk about things that I think are really front and center right now for a lot of people. Let's begin, though, with the Red Lobster thing. They make a change to their all-you-can-eat deal after customers ate so much that the restaurant suffered huge losses. At least 5 new menu items have been introduced at Red Lobster for an annual event. They're going for this. You want endless shrimp. Well, these people ate boatloads of endless shrimp, and as a result of it, they definitely lost money. Look, the point here is that people and businesses, in some cases, are losing money. They're losing money to inflation. Why is this all happening? Everything we are seeing is because the currency is being devalued. And when we start to understand that, things make a lot of sense. Understanding what the central bank's purpose is. The central bank has one purpose, and that is to devalue your currency. Why would they do that, though? They want to devalue the currency because that is the number one way to create a divide in between the rich and the poor. And slowly but surely, and sometimes in quick paces, we do find that this happens to occur, and people don't make that connection. They don't realize it in depth. Canadians are fed up with shrinkflation. What is being done about it? Well, this is not just Canadians, my American friends, Australian friends, everybody else in Europe and everywhere. We're seeing the same thing, all right? They cut it slightly. But the truth of the matter is that the studies have shown that a customer would rather have a product that is slightly smaller than see the price go up. It's just, it's a mental thing, right? We just, well, I guess I'd rather have this. But in fact, what I have seen in the case of shrinkflation, that the price increase would actually, you'd end up spending less. But they can get away with more this way. That's why they love doing it. Several countries are introducing regulations. See, they're going to regulate that, but that's not going to fix the problem. It is never going to fix the problem. Really, truly, they have to get to the central banks, and we know that your friends at the central banks are not going to stop. They are the ones responsible. Is there what they call greedflation, as they have shrinkflation, as they have skimpflation? These are not just silly terms. Skimpflation would be, for instance, a product that was, let's say it was made of 10% water, and then, all this different detergents or whatever they put in there. And now they put 12% water and then 15% water. And they're just thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner over time. And you're saying, my goodness, this stuff is barely, the same. And you can find that with soaps and things. It used to be so much thicker. And now you get the product that's way thinner. That's skimpflation. And so you don't see that in the price, but the price is going up technically, right? Keep that in mind. They can't regulate all this stuff. They're not going to. We got to realize that the currency is being devalued, and they are the ones front and center. They should be on your radar, not just the Kraft and the Heinz and all those companies. Kraft Dinner, Canadian shoppers lament, latest target of shrinkflation boxes of KD are now smaller. So some would say, oh, well, don't buy the processed food. Look, it's everywhere. There's nothing that hasn't been, like broadly speaking, that hasn't been shrinkflated, skimpflated, or in some way becoming more costly. This affects goods and services. This is why we must understand the central bank's activities. They are the ones that are causing the pain. And we got to realize this. Study the history. You'll find, wait a minute. They're actually designed from their initial setup to create this problem for me. Uh-oh, that's not good. And it starts to make a lot of sense when you understand the history. But for the most part, all we need to know is that they've been very clear about it. They want to create inflation. It's been 30 years since food ate up this much of your income. Ongoing high costs lead food manufacturers and restaurants to keep prices elevated. In many cases, they have gone overboard, in my opinion. You look at a glass of wine, one day it's $6, then it was $8, then it's $24. You're like, hey, whoa, something's going on. I don't drink anyway, but I'm just saying, this is what I see. Okay? In fact, I went to go get an espresso at a place I normally don't get it at. Italian espresso, nice, pretty good. Actually, she didn't make it that good this time. I've been there before. Not my normal place. This is another place. $4.10. $4.10 for an espresso. And we complain about the Starbucks prices. No. It's crazy. Some of these places are just, that's a ripoff. Okay? Fed's preferred inflation gauge expected to accelerate. And so this is an issue when we look at the core PCE inflation rate going higher. Because this is what the Fed looks at. So they're going to decide, should we increase interest rates? Should we bring them down? Should we leave them as is? The core PCE is going to be one of the main contributing factors to their decision making, if we believe what they say. So let's watch out, okay? When we increase interest rates, obviously that slows down inflation. That is positive. The only problem is they're simultaneously doing two different things. They're kind of telling everybody that don't worry, interest rates are coming. So they're signaling that. At the same time, they're kind of leaving interest rates high. So you, the borrower, borrowing through mortgage, borrowing for your car, your credit cards, whatever it is, that's becoming more expensive. And so there's kind of these, two things are happening at the same time. I'm interested to see how it all plays out. The PPI, producer price index, is actually moved considerably higher from its bottom. We're going to see if it continues, though. And so what happens when we see prices rise? Well, we have the Great Compression. This is talking about essentially like small homes, mobile homes, and what people are doing, being fit into smaller areas because they can't afford anything else. Look at this example. California couple earning $200,000 a year claim they cannot afford to have children as the birth rate plummets across the country and the cost to raise a kid to 17 reaches $310,000. It's arguable like how they calculating these things. I've seen these numbers before. The point is that so much right now is just too expensive, whether you agree with what they're saying here or not. We know that is the case. Central banks are responsible, and things are unlikely to get more expensive. So my message to you is that if you believe things will be more expensive next year, what will you do? If you believe asset prices could be even higher next year, what will you do? Do not expect things to necessarily turn around. And we've got to watch out for that, okay? Because we always wait, and we're going to be in trouble at some point. We've got to be able to, just like I was saying in 2020, I was saying, hey, do you think that food prices are going to go up? Do you think rice is going to go up? Do you think pasta is going to go up? So why are you sitting there on your hands? You're waiting for them to go on sale or something? You got to buy now, because what you're doing when you buy now is you're getting, next year's sale price. You see? Keep that in mind. Look at the consumers, though. The way that consumers are purchasing are changing, and markets are changing. So when we look at it, China is going to be a massive, and China and India as well, the rate at which people consume is going to get much, much larger. So the trend is going towards BRICS nations, going towards Asia, specifically these two countries, obviously with having 1.4 billion people each. They are consuming at such a high rate. They will need more commodities. They will need more services. They're going to need more of everything. So just, this by the way is in 2050. Okay, so that takes a long time, and then that's if it goes on the same trajectory. Nobody necessarily knows. But just keep that in mind how the world is changing. A lot is going on right now. And we can see the stock market at the same time, the world index hitting a record high. Here at this time, there's chaos. There's a lot of euphoria. And we've got to pay attention to each of these things. There's like some people are winning. Some countries are winning. Some, institutions are doing well. Like look at some of the financial institutions. They're going bankrupt. At the same time, JP Morgan is hitting a record high. So we've got to be able to pick what we can and choose wisely. Choose wisely. Just don't use leverage. Be mindful of where your money is going, because right now is the time in which we don't want to be sitting idle. We want to take action each and every day towards our goals and the things that we want in our lives. So if you haven't already, definitely check out themoneygps.com/live. 2 hours on Friday, 2 hours on Sunday, where I get to basically break through the conventional norms of how people do things, and everybody who joins realizes that this is on a whole nother level. I hope to see you there. themoneygps.com/live. Link is in the description. Hit that thumbs up button on the way out. I do appreciate that very much. Until next time on the Money GPS, I'll see you then. Take care.